Okay, so I've just finished researching a couple of companies and I feel I have a better sense of their values and what they're like. So I'm going to go and check what documentation I need to write up for my job application for these guys. Alright, so the first one, it wants a cover letter in a separate document. That's fine, very easy. The second one, okay, it wants the key selection criteria and the cover letter in the same document. What the? The cover letter can be a bit confusing, especially with institutions expecting different things. Allow me to share what I have learnt over the years, and hopefully I can clear things up for you. As most job hunters know, a cover letter is an introduction to you and always accompanies a resume. I also use it as a space to write those really cool things about myself that I couldn't fit in the key selection criteria, which I'm going to refer to as criteria from now on, because be damned if I'm going to say key selection criteria every single time. For example, the criteria could have directed you to emphasize one particular skill, say time management, and in your responses you didn't have enough space to say, but hey, I'm great at time management, but I'm also really flexible and adaptable too. Put that sort of stuff in your cover letter. The thing that confuses people about the cover letter is that sometimes we are asked to merge the cover letter with the criteria, and that can leave people wondering, well then how do I format that? So, after years of attending job hunting seminars and resume and criteria workshops, this is what I've learned about the cover letter. If a separate cover letter is requested, it's usually just one page. Make sure you use a formal letter, or sometimes referred to as a business letter format. And that means that your details are in the top right corner, and a little way down on the left is their contact details. Underneath that, address the letter to someone, and then below that you start writing your letter. In the first paragraph you introduce yourself. You state where you found the job advertisement and why you believe you'd be best suited for the job. The following paragraph should include examples of experience or skills that enhance the claims you've made in your criteria. Or you can use these paragraphs to highlight any skills you didn't get to mention in your criteria. Always close with a paragraph summarising why they should hire you and state when you're available for an interview. Then sign off using kind regards or yours sincerely. If the cover letter and criteria are requested in the same document, it will probably end up being about 2 to 3 pages long. And no, doing things this way does not mean less work for us. In fact, it means we have less words to use to put forward our case. In Australia, it's common to find this in public service applications. They will have a full set of criteria you need to address, but then only ask for a cover letter 2 A4 pages long, in which you are supposed to still address all of the criteria. So if you come across something like this, I found it helps to start the same way as a normal cover letter, with the formal letter format. Then, after the first paragraph, make sure each paragraph afterwards clearly answers a criteria, and I cannot stress this enough. Even though you are writing a cover letter, if you don't answer the criteria, your application is going to end up in the bin. Then, in your cover letter, after answering all the criteria, finish up with a summarising paragraph stating why you'd be best for the job and when you're available for an interview. Now that you understand the different types of cover letter, let's take a closer look at the individual parts of one. Now, I mentioned earlier that a cover letter should always be in a formal letter format. This should start with your address and contact details in the top right corner. Remember to use your alignment tools to get your details in the right place. And then write the date, the job contact's address and contact details. If you can't find the contact person for the job, call the library's HR and find out. If you're lucky enough to know someone who already works in the library you are applying for, ask them if they know who the team leader is for the advertised job. If you really can't find anyone to address the job to, it's okay to use "to whom it may concern." The next line should address the person receiving the letter, and the one after that a subject line with the job title and number. The first paragraph should include how you found the position, your qualifications. You should use the next two paragraphs to highlight how your experience or skills make you uniquely suited to the position. You may want to direct the person reading your cover letter to some recording of your conference presentations that highlight specialist knowledge you have relevant to the job. It would also help to highlight any general skills you have relevant to the job too. For example, having customer service skills and experience is relevant no matter what type of library you work in. If you are answering criteria within your cover letter, you'll have space for about 5 paragraphs to answer them in. Finally, finish up with a really positive statement claiming what you can bring to the library, or a sincere compliment about the way the library does things. This is information you would have gleaned when you were researching the library. Refer the reader to your resume and criteria and state when you are available for an interview. Sign off with kind regards, and you've got a cover letter. To recap, how do you write a cover letter? The first step is to research. You need to know about the library's ethos and their values before you can start complimenting them in your cover letter. Identify. Make sure you know what sort of cover letter you should be including with your application. This information will be somewhere in the position description. Contact. Use your network or the phone to figure out who to address your cover letter to. Be confident. A cover letter is no place to be humble. In fact, it is the best place to give an employer a sense of you. So, be honest and let the best you shine through. I hope this video has been helpful and cleared up a few questions you may have had about the cover letter. Stay tuned as my next video will be about your resume and how to fine-tune it.